Yyyaaoo! Yyyaaoo! What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another Yyyaaoo vlog. Today, we're going to talk about a little bit of UGC drama that happened at the end of Thursday night. Our lower bracket finals match that we broadcasted, myself, Huey Lewis, and Frank West with Cold on production. If you want to see the full vlog, how it went down, definitely check out that video. We published it yesterday, of course, after the game, late at night. And, you know, obviously some spoilers here, but what happened was we had a very intense, tight match. We got down to the third set in this best of three on Badwater. And MurderForce9k did their offense first, while Gentlemen's Club defended. Gentlemen's Club did a pretty good time of like eight something, kind of longer in the eights. And then the offense push was about to start from Gentlemen's Club. And obviously from our perspective in the cast, we saw the pause, and it was before the initial offense ended. But essentially the pause, or when the circumstance happened, was at the very start of the offensive set for Gentlemen's Club, which essentially is like the very last final round, the very last section of this game. Now, what the situation was that was extremely unfortunate was that Grape, apparently a fire alarm was pulled in his building. His building was flooding, not his apartment, not his stuff, but a different location in his apartment building was flooded, and so everybody had to leave the apartment building, and he had to get off his computer. At the same time, issues were happening with Akuma and their substitute engineer Pulse, and they lost 3 players instantly, basically. And now, before I really start getting into the drama of the circumstances, I just want to say that, you know, these are my feelings on it. I want to express these issues and start discussions about these issues because I feel like these issues are important and are things that should be talked about and should be discussed. Whether you guys agree with my view, whether you feel bad for Gentlemen's Club or you're angry at MurderForce9k, this is my view on it, and I feel like issues like this are good to be aired out and discussed. Now, also, I am a stickler for the rules. We can look back at the Burnsiders video, and I might mention that a little bit more as well. But when the Burnsiders were, how I felt was on the wrong side of the rules. Now, unfortunately, in this circumstance, how it plays out, Gentlemen's Club was, at least the start of this, how this unfolds, Gentlemen's Club was at the wrong side of the rules. Because what happened was there were some situations earlier in the season, which in my opinion are completely irrelevant to this discussion. MurderForce9k are kind of using them as justification or kind of saying why they did it and that they feel like their actions are kind of a karmic payback. But that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter what MurderForce9k's justifications were. There's a pretty intense thread going on TeamFortress.tv. I've made 2 posts and I'm going to get out. But Pudding Cup just jumped in towards the end and said, you know, if you guys just said that you guys were trying to win, that would be easier for us to swallow. Don't try to turn it into this thing. But I just think that any sort of incidents previous leading up to this really don't matter. It really doesn't matter. So MurderForce9k basically pressed the issue and we're like, you need to get players in here. We're not going to accept ringers. You guys need to use your roster, and you know, you guys need to make it happen. And there was a pause. The pause went on for 7 minutes. And the rule, as the rule states in the UGC league, and I don't like have all my notes up, so I might paraphrase this slightly wrong, but it said a pause may last for a maximum of 5 minutes. Now, obviously, in circumstances where you have teams and you know, fair play or, you know, beginning of a match, you know, teams don't always necessarily enforce these things. You know, when I've played and the other team says, hey man, we need another 15 minutes to get 9, you know, at the start of the game, it's like, ah, yeah, sure, no worries, you know, we're not doing anything. But at the same time, like, we're within our right to say, no, we have to get this game started right now. You know, the rules are laid out in UGC, and, you know, some of those rules are stuff that you could be kind of a dick and enforce them in certain circumstances. And I hate to just kind of throw out vulgarities and label actions as vulgarities, but that's one way that people look at things a lot when you're being a stickler for the rules. But really, the rules are there to protect people, are there to create the fairest circumstance possible. And when it comes to rules, you need to follow rules consistently, and they need to be laid out as clearly as possible to avoid any unforeseen circumstances that will be troublesome. And so kind of what happened then in the follow-up of this was MurderForce9k, they followed the rules to the letter, and they said, you know what, we're not going to allow you guys to have a ringer in this circumstance, which is within their right to do, to deny a team a ringer. And they said, well, you know, we've already paused for over 5 minutes. We'd like to resume the game. And I 100% feel that they were within their right to do that. Now, whether you feel like this was an unethical thing for them to do, an unsportsmanlike thing for them to do, whatever other phrases YouTube will let you write in the comments, whatever other phrases you feel like you should attribute to MurderForce9k, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to argue with you about that. I just think that they were within their rules to push this issue and to enforce it how it's written down. Now, I also severely understand that Gentlemen's Club is very upset about this. And I do think it's a very, very unfortunate circumstance. I also think it's one of those things that I do believe that there's rules that need to be adjusted here. Snowblind Frog, who was the admin who dealt with this issue after the match concluded, as well as the admin who's posted a few things on the TeamFortress.tv forums. And, you know, he wrote some things, and my second response, you know, it's like, he said, well, there's no specific rule about, you know, one of the other aspects of this that happened was MurderForce9k unpaused what was initially Gentlemen's Club paused. And there's no rule about that. There's no rule that says that they can't do that. The team that paused has to be the one that unpauses. And Snowblind says, you know, well, there's no specific rule written for this, and we don't feel like we should write one. No, I mean, this was an issue. And if MurderForce9k unpausing Gentlemen's Club pause, if that's considered bad sportsmanship or something that they should not do, then that needs to be written in the rules. Most things about bad sportsmanship are about profanity, about treating your opponents with respect. But, you know, also when it comes to the rules in a tournament, you have to use the rules as part of the competition. That is essentially how it is. You know, if a weird item gets through the rule set, it's in the rules and you can use it. The other team might say, that item is so lame. It's like, it's in the rules, man. This is the tournament. This is how the tournament is being run. So Snowblind also, you know, said some things of, well, you know, if a UGC admin was involved, we would have made them pause longer. You know, we feel like the team should have done this. And unfortunately, in the circumstance, there was no UGC admin involved in the heat of the moment. And that, again, comes down to an issue with UGC and the rules and the procedures. And I definitely disagree with UGC's decision following the dispute put forward by Gentlemen's Club, which I kind of skipped over some things, but also I just want to say that real quick. I also 100% believe this is within Gentlemen's Club right to contest, that they should contest it if they feel wronged by it. But I think that UGC is doing a bit of revisionist history here and going back and looking at a game that was followed by the rules. They went through the rules, and now UGC is saying, well, there is a clause in our rule page, which there is, that basically says that any head admin can define the rules, interpret the rules how they wish, which is also fine because sometimes things come up. But you know, I just think it's pretty unfortunate that UGC is taking a circumstance where one team followed the rules to the letter and they're flipping it over. And that was the decision. MurderForce9k is going to have to replay this against Gentlemen's Club, and it's going to happen on Sunday night. I'm not entirely sure the starting time that would happen. It's definitely a decent chance that it would be 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And these teams are going to go at it again. It's going to be a fully replayed set. And once again, you know, my too lazy didn't watch is just that I feel like MurderForce9k followed the rules. I feel like it was an unfortunate circumstance, definitely for Gentlemen's Club. They, and in some sense, the UGC admins feel like since this was a big money match and the, you know, culmination of the season, part of the culmination of the season, that extenuating circumstances should have made for more flexibility, at least to get that 9th player in. You know, Akuma did return to the game later to make it 9v9, but you know, maybe not wait for great, but at least just wait some sort of time to get that 9th player in. But again, it comes down to the policy and the procedure. UGC maybe need to adjust the way that the rules are written. Maybe they need to add some clauses in there about behavior during playoffs. Maybe they need to require a UGC admin to be present. But just across the board, I always feel that the consistency needs to be there, and you need to work with teams in circumstances. And it's unfortunate that this is another decision that I feel like the UGC admins have gotten wrong, even though, of course, I do feel bad for Gentlemen's Club. So that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything more for me to say about this subject. We'll be there to broadcast that rematch, and we'll keep an open mind about it. We'll see who wins. There is at least $300 on the line, but the teams are playing for that final spot in the grand finals Monday night. So thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'm eXtine. I'll see you next time. Peace out.